I think what's happening right now is that there's a public reckoning of what Facebook's business model actually is. What the quid pro quo is. The quid pro quo is they monetize the data in exchange for you offering it up, right? And the issues that the company is facing right now in the public debate is the same thing that the company has been utilized for time and time again by companies up until now. So,
I mean, the company would argue, yeah, you're right, we do many of those things, but we've told you that all along, and you agreed to that when you signed up to this. Do you think that this draws regulators in?
Yeah, of course. I think what's unfortunately happening is that Facebook will likely end up being the scapegoat for the bigger scrutiny over the large cap tech industry. You have the fears over Amazon, you have the fears over Google, you have the fears over Facebook, but you need a villain that you can actually, target from a regulatory standpoint. And I think Facebook is in a catch-22 situation because from a PR standpoint, they have managed to draw the ire from both sides of the political spectrum as well as both sides of the Atlantic. And right now, no matter what they do or say, I think is kind of a losing proposition.
Jessi, are they a scapegoat, or is this really a question of, wait a second, what have we been giving them and what have they've been doing with that
I would say that you're exactly right. This is that question. And this is an existential crisis for Facebook. I think the consumers always understood that we are the product. We give you our information, you monetize it, we get Facebook.
Maybe I just thought you had a little more control over whatever you knew who you were selling
We
it to.
expect that you're going to be a good steward of that information. And I think that what we're seeing is that Facebook not only was not a good steward of our personal information, but now there's this fuzziness I've never seen from the top of the company. In the 15 years that I have covered it, I've never seen the company react through complete silence. It suggests that inside Facebook, nobody quite knows what to do. And that is even more alarming and it's going to be troublesome for the company.
My guess is that they probably don't know exactly what happened or if there are other instances. I mean, to me, it sounds like anybody who was willing to come along with money could have whatever information they wanted on their users. I mean,
right. And let's not underestimate how big a deal it is that this service that serves billions of people doesn't quite know what happened, right? But even if that's true, crisis PR 101 would say that you stand up as the leader and you say, we've got a situation, we're working on it. We haven't even seen that from Mark and Sheryl. Instead, what we've seen is executives tweeting, talking through sort of public forums like
right,
Facebook.
It's not a data breach, blah, blah, blah.
What does that say about what the company actually knows what to do?
Yeah. James, what would you like to see? You said there's not much they can do at this point, but what do you think eventually happens? Joe's pointed out a lot of crazy comparisons of other companies that you could buy instead.
My price target is 210. Which is marginally higher from here, but
so it's pretty 40 points higher. It's another 25. So you think it's worth 600?
Up until yesterday, it was 25 points higher.
Yeah, okay, you think it's a $600 billion company and deserves that market cap?
Well, the way I look at it is from a valuation standpoint, it's not as expensive as like an Amazon, for example. However, the growth profile of the company far outpaces any of the other tech group. Growing at over 40%. But I think the Facebook's challenge right now, and I think part of the reason for their lack of, I guess, more explicit transparency from the get-go is because no matter what they do or say, I think that they're in a losing situation because it's impossible. You can have crisis PR, but when you can't appease anybody, no matter what you do, I think that's what they're trying to get their head around.
Does this turn their business model on its head? And if that's the case, how do you reassess the valuation?
Well, I think what Facebook has going for it, I mean, look, it's going to be choppy for a while now, and I think that you are in a situation where the multiple has peaked. So it's going to be relying completely on earnings. But what the safety net for Facebook is that there's no other company that can really replicate their scale, with the exception of Google, and the privacy laws that are actually being passed in Europe are actually in their benefit because it threatens new entrants, which makes the establishment much more, it makes the incumbents much more of the establishment. So I think if you take a long-term view, they're somewhat safe, but in the meantime, I think the multiple has reached the absolute peak.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.